So we're finally getting an adaptation of The Running Man. There was the 1987 film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, but it took some rather significant liberties with the story, enough that it's more a based on than an adaptation. That's not to disparage the film. I actually prefer it as a story. Because while they both have the total media manipulation, critiques of the sharp wealth inequality of capitalist systems, and gladiatorial games meets mass market schlock, the central character, Ben Richards, represents very different things in these two stories. While the book's character is a father trying to take care of his sick daughter, unable to find work and forced to sell the only thing he has that the market wants by putting his life on the line for money out of desperation, it's a story of hardship and exploitation of the working class. The '87 film is about an agent of the state who refuses to obey an immoral order. While the surplus proles are treated with contempt by the state, the apostate servants draw particular fury. It's not enough to simply silence Richards. His story has to be recreated. He must be discredited and humiliated before being eliminated. We open, after the exposition title crawl of course, on Captain Ben Richards, flying a helicopter toward Bakersfield. There's a food riot in progress. Because this is the kind of broken country that has food riots.
Food riot in progress. Approximately 1,500 civilians, no weapons evident.
Proceed with Plan Alpha. Eliminate anything moving.
I said the crowd is unarmed.
He is explicitly ordered to kill them. Being a decent human being, he refuses to slaughter a bunch of unarmed people just looking for something to eat.
Proceed with Plan Alpha. All rioters must be eliminated.
The hell with you. I will not fire on helpless people.
And that goes about as well as you'd expect. The rest of his crew are good, obedient little minions, just following orders, doing their job. It's the law, whichever excuse you want to use. They subdue him, and when we next see him, he's in prison. Incidentally, this film is full of classic 80s firearms. Calicos, AUGs, Spaz 12, and of course the then ubiquitous Car 15. You can be forgiven for thinking of this film as a firearms time capsule wrapped in a protective coating of cheesy action movie one-liners.
Give you a lift?
A few minutes in and we have a prison break. Richards is getting out with help from fellow convicts Laughlin and Weiss, and together they go to a shantytown on the outskirts of cyberpunk dystopia Los Angeles, meet up with the resistance, and reveal their plan. Television is a full-spectrum propaganda tool that the regime uses to dictate reality to the masses. But they can override a satellite uplink and broadcast the truth, thereby bringing down the corrupt regime. It was a more innocent, less cynical time. I mean, hell, even the resistance leaders fall for the bullshit half the time.
He's the butcher of Bakersfield.
Come on, Mick. You can see through that crap. It's network propaganda.
We don't know that.
But Richards is not in it for the revolution. His plan is to go to the city, find his brother, and get the hell out of Dodge.
See you guys at the 10-year prison reunion.
You can still join us if you want.
No, thank you. My brother is gonna get me out of the city. Plus, I'm not into politics. I'm into survival.
But Bro has been disappeared in the apartment rented out to Amber, a jingle writer for the regime. Seriously, that's her job.
When I write music for the network, have you heard of their theme song, We Bring You Joy, We Bring You Strife? Well, I wrote that.
Well, his plan is shot. Time to improvise. So in one of the film's prescient moments, he goes online and books a flight to Hawaii. I might want a larger landmass to hide in. Amber makes a scene at the airport, a chase ensues, and Richards gets captured. But he's not going to prison. They've got a better use for him.
Sensational. Perfect contestant. I want him.
Can't have them.
Yeah, this is Killian. Get me the Justice Department, Entertainment Division.
Killian, the ringmaster of the Running Man Circus, wants him on the show, and Killian gets what he wants. And if anyone inconveniences him, he has a loyal henchman to knock them in line. The premise of the Running Man is they get criminals, give them a head start, and then send stalkers out to track and kill them, all on live television. The runner almost certainly gets killed, but if he survives until the end of the game, it's a full pardon and a pile of prize money. It's rare, but it has happened. So the network promos say.
Like our previous winners, Whitman, Price, and Haddad.
In the film, the hunt takes place within an enclosed game area, not just released out into the world to be hunted as in the book. But the bigger difference is how they convince Richards to do it.
Nice. Laughlin. What are you gonna do with them?
Well, that's really up to you, Ben.
Now, he doesn't really know these guys. They were just working together to get out of prison. It's a far cry from the book's character, who's doing it for his sick daughter and wife. This Richards is acting out of duty, of not wanting to let someone else take the consequences. It's integrity beyond mere personal loyalty. Or just weak character motivation, but I prefer it my way. But out in the world, the seeds of doubt have taken root.
Like the ticket agent and security guard, Richard shot at point-blank range when he arrived at the airport.
But that's not true.
They were taken to Cadre Memorial Hospital.
The show begins with much fanfare, cutting between the glitz of the production, the studio audience, and particularly noteworthy the inhabitants of the same shantytown from earlier, where the downtrodden discards of that society eagerly queue up to place their bets on the spectacle designed to keep them distracted and compliant. Richards, the runner for the evening, is introduced to the crowd through a re-edit of the incident we saw in the opening. In this depiction, he's framed as having committed an atrocity.
He's Ben Richards, the brutal slayer of 60 men, women, and children in the Bakersfield Massacre.
Notably a far lesser massacre than the one he was ordered to commit in the first place.
Yankee 99er, the crowd is unarmed. Repeat, unarmed. Abort attack. Acknowledge Yankee 99er.
The hell with you.
This inverse morality, where if you commit an evil act, you're absolved because it was done within the confines of the power structure. But if you refuse to commit that evil act, you're accused of it and punished accordingly. All framed for optimal emotional manipulation of the masses. And that's not all they lied about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben's buddies, Harold Weiss and William Laughlin!
They make the rules, and we play the fools. Amber, following her suspicions, finds the raw footage but gets caught. She too ends up dropped into the killing field, another example of a servant of the state being classed as a criminal the moment they start asking questions. Loss of faith has consequences. But first, the Prison Break trio has their first boss fight, Sub-Zero, and they dispatch the stalker much to the distress of the crowd.
Here is Sub-Zero! Now, Plane Zero!
Even the shantytown denizens are bummed, though maybe that shot is just the ones that had money riding on Sub-Zero. It continues with its whole over-the-top 80s action hero thing, now with two stalkers going after them at once. Amber joins the group, and it's all building to a do-or-die moment for everyone. But hold up.
The camera relay is pointing into the zone, not up.
Who gives a damn?
Weiss figures out that he can access that satellite uplink they were trying to hack into earlier. The long, drawn-out execution has now become a battlefield between the revolution and the old regime. Another narrow escape from the stalkers for Richards and Amber, but Weiss and Laughlin don't make it. It's only a matter of time now, it seems, except the tide is turning. Not only did Weiss and Amber find the uplink code, but the crowd is starting to turn towards Richards.
I can pick anyone I choose. And I choose Ben Richards. That boy's one mean motherfucker.
And what happens when an anti-establishment figure starts to make some headway? That's right, the establishment tries to co-opt him.
Listen very carefully, Ben. How would you like a 3-year contract, guaranteed, a cadre credit line, and a beachfront condo?
Of course, it's already been established that these people are not trustworthy.
Last season's winners.
No. Last season's losers.
The game was rigged from the start. With the people turning toward them and with nothing left to lose, Richards and Amber are part of the revolution now. And for Killian and the establishment, there's only one thing left to do.
Yeah, Richard! Yeah, Richard!
Captain Freedom to Wardrobe. Captain Freedom to Wardrobe on the double.
As far as I'm aware, this is the only movie featuring two future state governors in a fight, though I look forward to the other examples if I'm wrong. Of course, this fight is completely fake. The kind of fake that was fantasy at the time, but actually achievable now. Something to always bear in mind. Richards and Amber are now in the hands of the resistance, and they're going on the offensive.
I told Killian I'd be back. I wouldn't want to be a liar.
They override the signal, seize the means of television production, the truth goes out, and the people instantly turn. They're used to believing what the TV tells them, I suppose. Of course, there are a few glitches. Dynamo, one of the surviving stalkers, attacks Amber, and I think it's notable that she doesn't need to be rescued, but she doesn't girl boss her way through the fight either. It's handled much better than a lot of recent films have been able to manage. Which brings me to what I think is one of the most significant moments in this film, symbolically speaking.
Sven, do you want to talk to Mr. Richards?
If we look at this in terms of Richards representing the people rising up against tyranny and Killian as a personification of the decadent and corrupt establishment, then his loyal bodyguard is the state security apparatus, the military and police, the strength of the status quo. But they come from the people, not the ruling class. When they lose faith and stop obeying, when they walk away, the powerful are suddenly nothing but frightened old men trying to bargain with promises they can't keep.
This is television, that's all it is. It's nothing to do with people, it's to do with the rating.
We end with the tyrants deposed, the people jubilant, the hero gets the girl, everything is set right. Cut to wide shot with the same view on screen, watched by the same cheering crowd that gathered for the Running Man. Wider still, the story plays on a little screen against the same cyberpunk cityscape, as though nothing much has changed in the wider world. What shall we make of this? Maybe it's saying that our heroes are lies, that in the end, none of it matters. But I'm not a black pill guy. Rather, I think that the two of them, having accomplished the immediate task in front of them, calling it a win and walking off stage, leaving everything pretty much as it was as the camera pulls out, is a reminder that the story doesn't just end, that honest and righteous people have to go out and do it again every day. They have to win every day. The corrupt and the powerful, all they have to do is hang on and things keep on the way they've been. It's an easier task to just not lose. Of course, this is an 80s Schwarzenegger movie, so maybe I'm reading too much into it.
How about the light?
I wasn't planning to shoot this one at the same old spot, but the classics endure for reasons.